So this was kind of unexpected, especially with us getting so much new information and leaks for AC Codename Red lately. I was not expecting to hear anything related to Codename Hexe for a little while, and while we have heard a few things through leaks here and there, this game was still shrouded in a lot of mystery. All Ubisoft announced officially was that it would be a very different type of AC game from anything we've seen before, and that it was being developed by Ubisoft Montreal, who of course last worked on Valhalla. They've been working on this game ever since they wrapped the development of Valhalla, and Hexe is believed to be released in 2026 or possibly later on the new Infinity platform that's supposed to launch with Codename Red later this year. And while this game is still very far away from release, Tom Henderson from Insider Gaming, yet again, was able to get some details and information about the game. So as always, not official news, and things are subject to change, considering the game is still nowhere near done, but Tom Henderson is very credible, and we talk about his leaks a lot here on the channel, and to my knowledge, he hasn't been wrong yet, so take that as you will. First things first, this report is doubling down on the rumors that Hexe will be structured a bit more linear than recent AC titles, while still having some elements of open world exploration. According to this, it'll be somewhat akin to the earliest AC titles. I remember there was this rumor quite a while ago that the game may have a similar structure to, say, the Uncharted series, where there will be lots of linear, more focused levels, along with some areas of the world that open up for exploration. I always really liked the sound of that idea, because who doesn't love Uncharted? I think that would fit Assassin's Creed really well, but this is obviously a Ubisoft game, not a Naughty Dog game, so there's quite a difference in quality there. But the way this game is being described, it sounds like it may be closer to an Uncharted, or again, even just a little more linear like some of the original games. I personally really like the sound of that. I think as a more linear experience, the game can be a lot more focused, and will be a nice break from the absolutely massive RPG open worlds with tons of side quests and extra things to do like we're about to get with Red. I think a lot of Ubisoft open world games have also started to feel really similar to each other in terms of their overall design, structure, and scale. So something a bit more linear while still having areas that can be explored sounds refreshing and a bit unique for a modern Ubisoft game. I'm kind of thinking of a world similar to the Star Wars Jedi games, or even the God of War games, where there are certain linear paths you can go down, but there is still an open world to roam and explore as you will. I don't know if that's what it's going to be like, but that's kind of where my mind goes when I hear it described that way, and I'd be all for that. And as we've heard before in a previous leak, the game is going to have a singular female protagonist, who's currently believed to be named Elsa. Again, my mind goes straight to Frozen, but that name might not even be final. They tend to change the names of the protagonists through the course of development, so we'll see. But the most interesting and perhaps controversial part of these new details is that Elsa is going to have supernatural abilities for us to use. Yeah, that's gonna be a controversial decision for the community. I mean, do you remember the big debate over Assassin's Focus before Mirage came out? People did not like the supernatural look of it, and that was just one ability. That was an Animus hack. This sounds like Elsa is gonna straight up be able to use magic. Insider Gaming reportedly got footage of one of Elsa's abilities, which allowed her to possess a cat and use it to distract guards by knocking over a bottle. I'll be honest, I don't know how I feel about that. I've always been someone who liked Assassin's Creed to be more grounded and historically accurate and realistic to an extent. I know it was never fully realistic, but there were certain lines the series never crossed, like wielding magic as one of them. Yes, there are things like the pieces of Eden that were used and can kind of look like magic, and Odyssey did blur the lines a bit when we had some superhuman abilities as demigods, but this sounds like we actually have full-on magic and supernatural powers at our disposal, and that has me very skeptical. I mean, look, we're still so far off from this game, I'm not judging too quickly or hitting the panic button yet. Maybe these magic abilities will be really fun and refreshing to the AC formula, I don't know. Maybe there's some lore explanation or a piece of Eden involved. Being able to possess a cat and control it actually made me immediately think of a game like Dishonored. You can possess animals like rats and control them in that game. And hey, I love Dishonored, but those abilities are a fundamental part of Dishonored's lore and universe, while with Assassin's Creed, it's not. So I'm pretty skeptical, but let me know what you guys think. I already know there's likely to be some mixed feelings about this. And then again, this is still believed to be taking place in Germany during the 16th century witch trials. So is our main character an actual witch then? Are we gonna play as a witch assassin? That should be interesting to say the least. But magic and all that aside, what I do really like the sound of is how the setting is being described. In the gameplay Insider Gaming received, they reported it was a dark and gloomy setting in the cobbled streets of a city. The setting and tone is the main draw of this game for me so far. We've been hearing things like this is gonna be the darkest AC game ever with a very bleak tone. I love that. That gets me very excited, and that sort of tone and visual aesthetic I believe is necessary when setting a game during the witch trials. I already loved the vibe and atmosphere of it just based on that little reveal trailer we got a while back, so the setting is definitely something I'm looking forward to. And another thing that is just music to my ears is that Hexe is reportedly going to implement a fear system, not too dissimilar from what we had in the Jack the Ripper DLC from Syndicate. Not only does it make perfect sense to have a fear system in the gameplay to be paired with this particular setting, but I always thought Assassin's Creed has really needed a fully fleshed out fear system for a long time. I loved the fear system in Syndicate's Jack the Ripper DLC. Fear has been done really well in other games too, like Ghost of Tsushima or the Batman Arkham series. Some of the earliest AC games even had fear to a certain degree, where if you killed guards in front of their comrades, it would scare them off, and they'd either surrender or run away. Assassin's Creed should have had some kind of fully fleshed out fear system for a long time, and I'm happy to hear it sounds like they're finally going to aim for that with Hexe. We don't have any details on what kind of fear system it will be. In Syndicate, you could do brutal assassinations or use fear bombs and spikes to scare away nearby enemies. This was especially cool to do in the sections where you played as Jack the Ripper, so maybe some kind of brutal assassination mechanic to scare away other enemies like in that DLC, or even the Middle-earth games would be awesome. Being able to use sound to scare the guards would be really cool too, I think. There's a lot they could do with it, and it would fit perfectly for the kind of vibe and tone Hexe is going for. So with these new details, there's some cause for excitement, and perhaps some cause for concern. Again, I'm curious what you guys think, especially when it comes to the potential supernatural abilities and the fear system. I know everyone is mostly just focusing on Codename Red right now, but Hexe is a game I've had a lot of interest for ever since the reveal trailer, and finding out that Clint Hawking and Darby McDevitt are heavily involved with the game. On top of that, it may have the longest development cycle of any AC game in the entire series. I mean, Valhalla came out at the end of 2020, and they've presumably been working on it ever since, so that will be about 6 years of development by the time the game comes out, if it really does release in 2026. Which 6 years is a lot for this series. But it's not like more time automatically equals better game, so only time will tell. What's your guys' current mood around Codename Hexe, and what else do you hope to see from it? As always, if you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it if you left a like, maybe consider subscribing to the channel if you're new, it would really help me out. And other than that, thanks for watching everybody, and have a great rest of your day, Assassins.